Have you ever been envious or been tricked by a lie? You're not the only one. Today, we're going to look at the subtle signs of these two human situations. This video shows you 13 ways to spot people who are jealous or telling lies, getting ideas from the timeless knowledge of Stoicism. By being aware of these behaviors, we can better understand and manage our relationships. Come with us on this journey of self-discovery and growth with Stoicism. Number 1. Too much praise. A lot of praise is usually seen as a good thing, but it can also be a sign of envy. Stoicism tells us to be wary of people who give too many praises, because it could mean they are jealous. When praise is real, it's usually moderate and comes from a good place. But when it's too much, it could mean that the person is trying to hide their envy by showing too much respect. According to Stoic philosophy, we should watch how people treat each other. Say nice things about you. Are they constant in how they praise you in different settings? Do they only compliment you when other people are around, or do they also show their admiration in private? Taking a Stoic stance would push us to look deeper into these praises and think about the meanings behind them. Moreover, Stoicism tells us to think about how we respond to praise. Do we get comfortable, or do we keep a humble attitude? A famous Stoic philosopher named Marcus Aurelius warned us not to let flattery take our eyes off our moral compass. He said we should concentrate on our own virtues and progress instead of other people's views, which can change quickly and be misleading. Recognizing that too much praise could be a sign of envy doesn't mean that you should not believe any compliment. It means keeping a balanced view of yourself and others. It means understanding human nature and sticking to the Stoic principles of self-awareness and virtue. Praise is often seen as a good thing that encourages and inspires people in our society. It's important to recognize accomplishments and show thanks, but too much praise can have unintended negative effects. Stoic philosophy tells us to keep a balanced view and focus on our own good qualities instead of what other people say about us. Too much praise can make people cocky, reliant on other people's views, and overconfident, all of which hurt personal growth and resilience. This lesson will look at praise from a Stoic point of view and give you tips on how to keep a good balance. What praise really means. Praise is when someone else notices your deeds, skills, or personality. When it's sincere and fair, praise can be helpful because it acts as good reinforcement. But when praise is too much or not true, it can change how someone sees themselves and give them an unrealistic sense of success. The risks of being too sure of yourself. When you give someone too much praise, it can make them feel too confident and safe. When people get too much praise, they might start to think they are better than they really are and stop trying. This can keep them from seeing where they need to improve, which can slow down their personal growth. Dependence on validation from outside. When you count on praise too much, it can make you dependent on outside approval. Stoicism stresses how important it is to validate and evaluate oneself. When people count on praise, they might lose sight of what drives them and what they value, which makes them always need approval from others. Finding the right balance between positive and negative feedback. It's important for growth to find the right balance between positive and negative feedback. Positive feedback can boost mood, but negative feedback can help people learn how to do better. Finding a balance between the two promotes lifelong learning and self-improvement, which is in line with the Stoic concept of growth and self-discipline. Self-praise and internal validation. Make it a habit to praise yourself and give yourself feedback. People shouldn't look for praise from other people. Instead, they should learn to appreciate their own progress and hard work. This practice fits with Stoic ideas because it helps people become more independent and strong inside. A balanced and strong attitude is supported by thinking about what you've accomplished and where you can improve. Let the Stoic view of praise guide you. We can better understand the Stoic approach to external approval if we know what can go wrong with too much praise. Keeping a fair view on praise helps us stay grounded, focused on our own good qualities, and strong when things get tough. Accepting and using constructive comments, as well as practicing internal validation, can help you grow and achieve your goals in a healthier and more satisfying way. Number 2. Imitation. Adoration, aspiration, and sometimes envy can all lead to imitation. In the context of Stoicism, imitation driven by envy is seen with suspicion. Stoics believe that while it's natural to copy those we admire, it's problematic when the goal is to compete or surpass out of jealousy. If someone copies you to the point of replication, it may mean that they are not happy with their own identity and are trying to get what they think you have, whether it's success, status, or skill. This kind of imitation lacks the authenticity of genuine inspiration and instead reveals a deep-seated sense of inadequacy. Stoics would tell us to react to this kind of copying with calmness and self-reflection. Instead of feeling threatened, we should see it as a chance to boost our self-esteem and keep working on our personal growth. It's also a chance to show understanding, since people who copy out of envy may be having a hard time accepting themselves. Ultimately, realizing that imitation is a sign of VV can help us handle our relationships with knowledge and kindness, staying true to the Stoic way of life. Self-awareness and perseverance are good traits. Number 3. Downplaying success. Stoicism teaches us to spot the subtle but telling sign of envy when someone constantly downplays or undervalues your accomplishments. It could mean that they are jealous of you. They might say things that make it sound like your wins are due to luck or outside forces instead of recognizing your skill and hard work. Stoic philosophy tells us to treat this kind of behavior with understanding and not anger. It's important to remember that people who put down others' accomplishments usually do so because they are unhappy with their own lives and feel insecure. Stoics tell us to stay calm and not let these kinds of attitudes affect our inner peace. Stoicism also teaches us to focus on our own journey and virtues instead of looking for approval from others. We should try to be the best versions of ourselves and let our actions speak for themselves. This way, we can show others how to be gracious and sure of themselves, which might make them think about how they act and help them get over their envy. We can stay on our calm path as long as we know that playing down success is a sign of envy. Building up strength and compassion when other people are dealing with jealousy problems. These days, people often enjoy and strive for success in all its forms. Stoics, on the other hand, thought it was important to keep a fair view of success in order to avoid being cocky, proud, or too attached to outside accomplishments. We stay grounded and develop humility by playing down our successes. This way, our sense of self-worth is not tied to short-lived achievements. This way of thinking not only helps us handle success with grace, but it also trains us to be calm when things go wrong. Understand that success doesn't last forever. Know that success isn't always permanent and can change. Things that are done today might not be there tomorrow. Accept that success is temporary so that you don't get too attached or comfortable. This way of thinking helps us keep a balanced view by telling us that success does not make us valuable. Pay attention to the process, not the result. Stop focusing on the end result and start focusing on the work and steps that got you there. Don't celebrate the accomplishment itself, but rather the hard work, commitment, and discipline that helped make it possible. This way of doing things helps people keep growing and staying strong. Practice being humble. Stay humble even when you're doing well. Take into account the help that other people gave you, the luck that you had, and the outside things that affected your success. Know that success isn't always the result of one person's genius, but of many people working together. Share your success in a modest way. Be humble and gracious when you talk about your accomplishments. Don't brag or look for approval from other people. Do not talk about your accomplishments or deeds. Let them speak for themselves. This way of doing things keeps you humble and encourages others to go after their own goals without feeling like you're stepping on their toes. Get ready for trouble. When you're successful, you might get too comfortable and sure of yourself. By downplaying your wins, you stay alert and ready for the difficulties that lie ahead. Being ready makes sure that you can bounce back from failures and keep moving toward your long-term goals. A strong Stoic practice that builds humility, resilience, and a balanced view of accomplishments is playing down success. We can handle the ups and downs of life with grace and understanding if we remember that success doesn't last. Focus on the process, be humble, share our successes in a modest way, and get ready for hard times. This way of doing things not only helps us grow as people, but it also makes our relationships and interactions with others better, which leads to a more stable and satisfying life. Number 4. Withdrawal of compliments. Backhanded praises are a form of disguised criticism and can be a subtle sign of envy. Stoicism, which focuses on inner peace and reason, teaches us to spot and understand these kinds of comments. The backhanded compliment may seem positive at first, but it actually means something bad and suggests that the giver is angry or jealous. For example, someone might say, "It's amazing how you got promoted, even though you don't have the usual qualifications." This compliment praises the achievement, but it also makes it seem like you didn't deserve it. Stoics would tell us not to get angry or defensive in response to these subtle insults. Instead, they say, we should think about what was meant by the words and keep our cool. When someone flatters you without meaning to, the Stoic reaction is to ignore their opinion and work on your own virtue and improvement. We should use these situations to practice patience and understanding, remembering that other people's envy doesn't define our worth or success. By following Stoic principles, we can handle these kinds of social problems with wisdom and calmness, keeping our peace of mind. Is not bothered by other people's words filled with envy. Number 5. Overcritical attitude. An attitude that is often a sign of envy is a well-known idea in Stoicism. Stoicism teaches us to be aware of people who find fault with almost everything we do, because this could mean that they are jealous. If you harbor jealousy, these people might question every choice you make or your skills, not to help you or make you better, but to make you doubt your own abilities. Stoics say that we should face this behavior with inner strength and reason. Instead of responding defensively, we should look at the criticism objectively. Does it have any validity? Can it be used constructively? If not, we should let it go without letting it affect our peace of mind. A Stoic emperor named Marcus Aurelius thought that the best way to get back at someone who has hurt you was to not become like them. We should work hard to stay calm and true to our values. Stoicism also tells us to constantly think about and improve our actions. This way, we can be sure that they are in line with our values, and the negative comments of jealous people won't affect our progress or sense of self-worth. Number 6. Chatter. Stoic teachings say that gossip is a sign of envy and lies. People who spread rumors or talk about others behind their backs usually want to bring others down to their level. Stoicism tells us to be aware of gossip and see it for what it is: a tool used by people who want to bring us down in order to gain their own. Stoics like Epicurus taught us not to worry about other people's opinions, especially when they are expressed as gossip. Gossip is no way to communicate that is helpful or based in truth. It only spreads negativity. Instead, we should focus on our own actions and the things we can control to stay honest and at peace. Furthermore, Stoicism tells us to show empathy toward people who gossip, knowing that their actions are caused by their own problems. We should try to show by example that real strength lies in character and virtue, not in putting others down. By realizing that gossip is a form of envy, we can choose to respond with compassion and maintain our equanimity, living in line with the Stoic ideal of living a good life unaffected by other people's lies. Number 7. Pretended to be worried. Feigned concern is a sneaky way to get what you want, and Stoicism teaches us to be aware of it. If someone shows concern or sympathy for your situation in a way that doesn't seem real, it could mean that they aren't really understanding but are jealous of your situation. This kind of fake concern often comes with unwanted advice or questions that seem to find weaknesses or problems. Stoics say that the best way to deal with fake worry is to keep your emotions in check and not let it affect your inner peace. It's important to know that the worry isn't real and to show polite indifference. Stoics like Seneca say that we shouldn't be bothered by things that are out of our control, like other people's fake emotions. They also say that practicing Stoicism means building self-reliance and inner strength. By focusing on our own good judgment and virtues, we can handle encounters with false concern without being affected by the underlying envy. We should also try to be truly helpful to others, showing true empathy and kindness, which are important parts of Stoic philosophy. To sum up, realizing that fiendish worry could be a sign of envy helps us stay calm and true to our Stoic beliefs, which leads to real relationships based on mutual respect and honesty. Feigned concern, also called fake or insincere concern, is when someone acts like they care about someone else's problems or well-being when they really don't. This kind of behavior can hurt relationships by making people doubt your honesty and trustworthiness. It also goes against Stoic principles, which stress real kindness and honesty. Understanding and spotting fake worry can help people keep up real conversations and build real relationships. Recognize the signs, actions and words that don't match up. People who are pretending to be worried often have words and actions that don't match up. Their deeds might not match up with what they said they were worried about. Surface-level sympathy. Their empathy may seem surface-level or practiced, missing the depth and sincerity of real care. Self-centered responses. They keep talking about themselves and are more interested in how the issue affects them than the person who needs help. Hey, learn about the reasons. Manipulation. Some people act worried to get what they want, like influence or power over others. Social acceptance. They might act like they want to fit in or be liked by a certain group of people. Self-image. Another way people use fake worry is to boost their self-image by making it look like they care more about others than they really do. Hey, differentiate genuine concern. Consistency. Sincere concern stays the same over time, with actions that match words. Active listening. People who truly care will listen and respond in a way that shows they understand how the other person feels. Helpful and supportive actions. They do what they say they will do and offer real support and help. Encourage relationships to be real. Self-reflection. Think about your own actions and motivations on a regular basis to make sure your care for others is real. Develop empathy. To develop empathy, put yourself in the shoes of others and try to understand their thoughts and feelings. Open communication. In your relationships, encourage people to talk to each other in an open and honest way. This will create an atmosphere where real care can grow. Hey, how to respond to pretended worry. Set boundaries. Protect your mental health by politely but firmly setting boundaries with people who constantly act like they care about you when they really don't. Look for real connections. Surround yourself with people who care about you and understand what you're going through. Address the behavior. If it's acceptable, talk to the person directly about the behavior and how their lack of sincerity makes you feel. Suggest that they act in a more honest way. Pretending to be worried can hurt your relationships and your own health. People can make more genuine and helpful connections by spotting its signs, understanding why people do it, and encouraging truthfulness. The best way to build relationships based on genuine care and honesty is to communicate openly and with sensitivity. Number 8. Angry feelings. Angry feelings. Stoicism helps us understand that feeling good when someone else is having a bad day is a sign of envy. When people are happy when someone else is having a bad day, it often shows that they are competitive or jealous. This response goes against the Stoic values of humanity and community, which say to celebrate other people's good luck and help them through their problems. Stoics like Epictetus taught that our emotions should be in line with our virtues and reasons. They said that getting pleasure from someone else's pain is irrational and bad for our character. Instead, they said, we should work on having a mindset of goodwill and kindness toward everyone, even those who show bad fruit. The Stoic way of dealing with negativity is to understand that it comes from their own problems. We should not care about their envy, and instead focus on our own personal growth and well-being. Recognizing sky and fruit in others helps us stay true to our Stoic principles, which gives us inner peace and strength to deal with life's challenges and the less than Stoic reactions of those around us. Number 9. Being unhappy when other people do well can be a minor sign of how someone feels about envy. It teaches us to see and understand things clearly. Stoic philosophy tells us to be happy for other people's successes because it shows that we are happy with our own lives and understand how all human endeavors are linked. If someone repeatedly doesn't show genuine happiness for your accomplishments, it could mean that they are experiencing envy. Their inability to share in your joy could show up as indifference or even dismissive comments about how important your accomplishments are. The Stoic response to this behavior is to stay calm and not let other people's envy affect our own. Instead, we should focus on our own path to virtue and continue to cultivate a spirit of generosity and well-being for ourselves and others. Stoicism also teaches us to show compassion to those who struggle with envy by realizing that their lack of joy may be caused by their own dissatisfaction. This way, we can approach the situation with understanding and patience instead of judgment. To sum up, seeing other people's lack of joy as a sign of envy helps us stay grounded in Stoic virtues, which leads to a life of inner peace and harmony with those around us. If you follow Stoicism, one of the virtues that is often stressed is being able to enjoy both your own and other people's successes. But a problem that a lot of people have is that they can't really be happy for other people when they do something great. This lack of happiness for other people's successes may come from envy, fear, or a desire to beat others. In this lesson, we'll look at how the Stoics think about getting past this obstacle and developing an attitude that praises others' successes. Find out where envy comes from. The first step is to figure out why you can't feel happy for other people's successes. Usually this comes from feeling unsafe or having doubts about your own abilities. Once you know what these thoughts are, you can start to deal with them directly. Think about yourself. Regularly think about yourself to learn more about your goals and accomplishments. Know that everyone is going through their own unique journey, and that comparing yourself to others isn't helpful or fair. Change the way you see things. Change the way you think so that other people's success is seen as an inspiration instead of a threat. Seeing past successes as proof that you can reach your own goals can inspire you to work harder toward them. Grow your empathy. Put yourself in other people's shoes to improve your understanding. Think about how much time and effort they put into getting where they are now. This can make you truly happy for them and lessen your feelings of envy. Honor other people's accomplishments. Try to be aware of and celebrate the achievements of those around you. Wish them luck and feel their happiness. This practice can slowly change the way you think and help you find real happiness in other people's successes. By following these Stoic principles, you can get past the things that keep you from being happy for other people's successes. This not only makes you feel better mentally, but it also makes the people around you more helpful and cheerful. Number 10. Words and actions that don't match up. Especially if their words don't match up with what they do, this could be a sign of envy. Stoicism tells us to pay attention to these kinds of differences because they can show how someone really feels. Someone who says they are your friend and support but acts differently could be jealous of your success or status. Stoic philosophy tells us to treat people who are inconsistent with understanding and without anger. We should also understand that this behavior is usually caused by the person's own inner conflict and dissatisfaction. Stoics tell us to focus on our own thoughts and actions and to stay true to ourselves, no matter what other people say or do. Stoicism also teaches us how to practice equanimity, which means staying calm and collected when other people are upset. Envy. By doing this, we show others how to be consistent and good, which might make them think about their actions and want to improve themselves. Realizing that inconsistency is a sign of envy helps us stick to our Stoic beliefs, which leads to a life of honesty and inner peace. It tells us to act in a way that is consistent with our values and to be kind to people who are having a hard time doing the same. According to the Stoic theory, it is very important to be consistent with what you say and do. When our words and deeds don't match up, it can make people not trust us or us trust them. This difference can cause us inner turmoil as we try to make sense of our actions and goals. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic thinkers, talked a lot about how important it is to be honest. He pushed for a life where our actions match the values and promises we make. We will talk about what it means to align our words and deeds and how to do that in our daily lives in this lesson. Understanding what disconnect means and some examples. Explain what it means when words and actions don't match up by using daily examples like saying you believe in a value but acting in a way that goes against it. Effects on trust. Talk about how this lack of communication hurts trust in personal and professional interactions. What Stoics say about being honest. Marcus Aurelius on consistency. Talk about Marcus Aurelius's teachings about how important it is to match words with deeds, using quotes and interpretations that are relevant. Internal harmony. Explain why Stoics think that we have internal harmony when our deeds match the values we say we believe in. Self-reflection and being aware. Finding inconsistencies. Teach self-reflection techniques to find places where words and deeds don't match up. Honest self-assessment. Make sure you do an honest assessment of yourself to figure out why these differences exist, like if you're afraid, lazy, or not committed. Possible ways to align. Setting realistic expectations. Give advice on how to set realistic expectations for yourself so that you can keep your promises and pledges. Accountability practices. Give examples of ways to hold yourself accountable, like writing in a journal, setting alarms, or asking trusted friends or teachers for feedback. What's good about alignment building? Trust. Explain how matching your words with your deeds makes people trust and respect you. Personal satisfaction. Talk about how living an honest and dependable life can give you personal satisfaction and peace of mind. Role modeling. Talk about how others are positively affected when they see someone whose actions match their words. Keeping our words in line with our deeds is not just a Stoic principle, it's a sign of honesty and dependability everywhere. We can strengthen our relationships, build trust, and find inner peace by working toward this harmony. Let us learn from Marcus Aurelius and try to live a life where our deeds always show what we believe in and what we stand for. Number 11. Sabotage. Sabotage is when someone tries to stop or weaken someone else's work on purpose. It's usually caused by envy. Stoicism teaches us to be aware of these kinds of actions because they can show what someone really wants. It's likely that someone is trying to hurt your work or reputation because they are jealous of your success or status. The Stoic philosophy tells us to deal with sabotage with strength and calmness. We should understand that other people's actions are out of our control and focus on upholding our own morals and efforts. Marcus Aurelius, an emperor and Stoic philosopher, said that we shouldn't let other people's mistakes upset our inner peace and take our attention away from our goal. Stoicism encourages us to forgive, and realizing that people who sabotage out of envy are usually dealing with their own feelings of not being good enough can help us. If we react with empathy and honesty, we might be able to help them. Basically, get them to change how they act. Knowing that sabotage is a sign of envy helps us stay strong in our Stoic virtues, protecting our tranquility from the bad actions of others. It also serves as a reminder to be alert and protect our work, while encouraging a spirit of goodwill and self-improvement. Number 12. Isolation. Stoicism teaches us to be aware of the behavior of envy that tries to cut you off from mutual friends or co-workers. If someone does this, it could mean that they are jealous of your relationships or power. This kind of isolation can come in the form of spreading rumors, preventing you from social gatherings, or making visions. Stoic philosophy tells us to react to these kinds of acts with detachment and inner strength. We should know that we can't control what other people do, but we can control how we react to it. The Stoics said that we should keep our relationships strong by talking to each other directly and being a good example of virtue and honesty. Stoicism also encourages people to work together and help each other. Isolating behaviors go against these values and should be met with understanding and the strength to get through them. By doing this, we not only protect our relationships, but also set a good example for others to follow. Realizing that being alone is a sign of envy helps us stick to our Stoic beliefs and keep our tranquility unaffected by other people's bad behavior. It also serves as a lesson to promote unity and strength in the face of hardship. Number 13. Spreading false rumors. Getting false information out. Stoicism sees spreading lies about someone as a sign of envy. If someone spreads lies about you, it's usually because they want to hurt your reputation or accomplishments out of jealousy. Stoic values value truth and integrity, so this kind of lying goes against them. Stoic philosophy teaches us to deal with these kinds of acts in a calm and logical way. We should know that other people's opinions don't define our worth, and that we should stay focused on our own path of virtue. The Stoics would tell us to forgive others and not let their actions, which are motivated by envy, bother us. Moreover, Stoicism tells us to set a good example by being honest and real in all our relationships. By doing this, we can encourage others to value truth and stop the spread of rumors. When we see the spread of false stories as an act of envy, we can keep our peace and continue to live a good life without being affected by other people's bad intentions. It also reminds us to be careful and protect our character by making us more committed to Stoic values at the end. We can handle our relationships with knowledge and calmness if we can spot the signs of envy and lying in others. Stoicism gives us the tools to understand these actions and react with honor and integrity by focusing on our own growth and keeping our inner peace. We are strong enough to rise above the bad effects of envy. People who show these signs are probably going through their own problems, so it's important to understand and accept them. Let's try to be honest and kind and help build a community where people can tell the truth and help each other. Remember that the way of Stoicism is not one of solitude, but of shared human experience that leads us to a life of peace and strength.